The Prophet ﷺ arrived in Medina not as a refugee, but as a leader chosen by Allah. What began as a small community of believers soon grew into a unified nation built on justice, compassion, and faith. Yet the path ahead would demand courage, sacrifice, and extraordinary patience. The Quraysh could not accept the rise of Islam in Medina. They marched with armies to crush the new community, leading to a series of defining battles. A small group of 313 believers faced a well-armed force 3 times their size. Against all odds, Allah granted them victory. The Qur'an says, Allah helped you at Badr when you were few. The victory strengthened the Ummah and shook the Arabian Peninsula. The Muslims face hardships when some disobeyed the Prophet's command, yet even in setback, the Prophet ﷺ showed patience, forgiveness, and leadership. When allied tribes surrounded Medina, the Prophet led the Muslims in digging a defensive trench. Their unity and perseverance turned the tide, and the enemy withdrew in defeat. These battles were not about conquest. They were about survival, justice, and protecting the freedom to worship Allah. In the 6th year after the Hijrah, the Prophet ﷺ set out for Mecca to perform Umrah. The Quraysh blocked the way, leading to a tense negotiation. The resulting treaty seemed unfavorable to the Muslims, yet the Prophet accepted it with wisdom. Allah revealed, "Indeed, we have granted you a clear victory." This victory was not a battle, it was peace, and through peace, Islam spread faster than before. 2 years later, the Quraysh violated the treaty. The Prophet ﷺ marched toward Mecca with an army of 10,000 believers. Yet this was not a march of revenge, it was a march of mercy. When he entered the city that had persecuted him for years, he declared, "Today is a day of mercy." He forgave his enemies, he restored dignity to the oppressed, and he purified the Kaaba of idols and proclaimed, "Truth has come and falsehood has vanished." Mecca returned to its original purpose, a sanctuary of monotheism. In the 10th year after the Hijrah, the Prophet ﷺ performed his only Hajj. Standing before more than 100,000 believers, he delivered the farewell sermon, establishing principles that would guide humanity forever, such as the sanctity of life, the equality of all people, the rights of women, the prohibition of injustice, and the unity of the Ummah. Then, during this pilgrimage, Allah revealed one of the final verses. "Today, I have perfected your religion for you, completed my favor upon you, and chosen Islam as your way." The message was complete, the mission fulfilled. Soon after returning to Medina, the Prophet ﷺ fell ill. Even in sickness, he continued to lead, teach, and remind his companions to uphold prayer and treat one another with kindness. He passed away in the home of Aisha, his head resting on her lap, whispering, "O Allah, the highest companion." The world dimmed, but the light he brought would never fade. With his passing, revelation ended, but his example, his mercy, his justice, his humility, his devotion would become a timeless guide for all who seek truth. The Qur'an describes him with a verse that captures his essence. "We have not sent you except as a mercy to all the worlds." Prophet Muhammad ﷺ stands as the final messenger, the completion of a divine chain stretching back to Adam. His life transformed hearts, uplifted nations, and illuminated the path to Allah with unmatched clarity. From the cave of Hira to the farewell sermon, from persecution to victory, his journey embodies patience, courage, and mercy. His message remains alive in the Qur'an, his example preserved in the Sunnah, and his impact felt in every corner of the world. He is the prophet of mercy, the guide for humanity, and the seal of all the prophets.